Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm extremely excited to go over this topic with you because I think a lot of women struggle and have a challenge with building and creating their confidence because we're putting on another mask. We're putting on other ways of being confident and being strong and powerful, yet that feels misaligned, especially when we're looking at power because we're taught power is dominance. Power is dominating over another being or another thing. It's being forceful and assertive and aggressive, which, yes, sometimes that can work, but majority of the time it just feels misaligned. And so a lot of women I've noticed and I reckon are pushing it back a little bit, and power feels uncomfortable. Power feels almost dirty or bad. But you can see power as dominance, and you can also see power as presence. And this is where I want to make the distinction for women specifically in how they show up. Power as dominance is, like I said before, it's forceful, it's overpowering, it's overbearing, sometimes it's micromanaging, sometimes it's, pushing somebody into thinking the way that you want them to think. However, the power of presence is more in the listening. It's listening to your intuition. It's connecting. It's through that authentic influence rather than this forceful influence. It's asking those questions and inviting people into the conversation rather than trying to force your opinions onto them. You're asking the questions of, what are your thoughts about this? Can you reiterate that? There's ways that you can have this quiet, steady presence in your listening and then respond. So, power is dominance. You're trying to speak over people, you're trying to get people to hear you, you're trying to be the loudest one in the room. Yet, most of the time, that just gets annoying and people want to brush that person off. However, if you're able to stand in your values and stand in your strength and your trust of who you are and your abilities, that, for one, the energy of that just radiates. Have you ever been in a room where somebody walks in and everybody turns and it's like, oh my gosh, who is that? And they haven't even said a word. That is somebody who has confidence in who they are, their values, how they're showing up in the world. And they don't need to be the loudest to be seen. They don't need to be the loudest to be heard. And sometimes it's those who sit back and listen and ask the question and or share their opinion that are heard more often because they rarely speak. And I'm not saying that you have to not speak at all, but in the rooms where everybody is trying to fight and clamor for attention and fight for their own ideas to be heard, and you take a seat back, you wait for the storm to calm, and then you share your opinion, or in there then you share your idea, you're going to be heard and listened to. And if somebody tries to jump in, this happens all the time, where somebody is like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, that, as I was saying, this is my idea. You can say, hey Joe, thank you, I appreciate you for reiterating the point I was just making. So that's one little caveat that you can do there. But this power as presence is more of that connection. It's not necessarily needing to dominate others, but you're inviting the conversation to continue through your idea, through your questioning, and through your listening. And you're welcoming people into the space as curators and as creators of everything that's going on. So if you're working with a team, instead of saying you're going to be doing this or else, and you flip it on its head and say, let's create some ideas. Here's the initial idea that I thought. Can I get your opinion? Can I get your um, criticism? If there's anything that you need to dissect a little bit more, if you have questions about this. So you're leading through community rather than this force. So in thinking of it as power through dominance as this storm, it's very chaotic, it's very big, it's very wild, it's going and it's spinning all around, yet it's short-lived. And power as presence is more like the oak tree. It's very rooted. It knows who it is. It knows who it is. It's almost it's almost so strong that it can't be tipped over. It can weather the experiences that are going on. It could weather the time, it could weather all of the chaos, and it still stands strong and rooted. And if you are the person for others in their life as that oak tree, they're going to come to you. They're going to see you as a leader rather than the person who is over here being chaotic and trying to force people into their ideas. So, really understanding who you are and building that self trust within yourself, understanding that you can say no if something doesn't look or feel good, you can set a boundary. That is all building self trust. And in turn, it's building self confidence as well. So, take this. Mull it over, think about how you can let go of areas in your life where you have felt that you need to be the loudest, that you need to be forceful, that you need to push things through, and rather sit back and listen and create your ideas and then share the ideas. Listen to everybody else and then share your ideas of how it can work. So let me know how it works in the comments. I'm very curious about this. I think it's a very cool way to look at power, especially for women. If you liked this video, please subscribe, like, and if you want to join our email newsletter, please do so with the link in the description.